All right. Well, we're going to leave this topic and move on to some quick news clips. We just need your brain to settle down a bit. So let's refocus on what's happening in the world with a couple of quick hits. On Wednesday morning of last week, a shooting occurred at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis during an all-school mass. A gunman, described being in his early 20s, first fired through a window at children sitting in pews in the church, then entered the premises with a rifle, pistol, and shotgun. The gunman subsequently died by suicide. At least 2 children were killed in the incident, a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. 2 others were in critical condition. In total, 17 people were injured, including 14 children. And what I want to start off with is a clip of the mayor of this town who's immediately reacting to the news that had just hit. So let's watch what the mayor, Jacob Frey, had to say.
There are no words that can capture the horror and the evil of this unspeakable act. Children are dead. There are families that have a deceased child. You cannot put into words the gravity, the tragedy, or the absolute pain of this situation. We are a Minneapolis family. But to everybody out there, do not think of these as just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if it were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country.
Wow, that is raw emotion, and I don't know that I could have spoken any better.
Yeah, I don't know.
Without cracking up. And so far, the responses from the lawmakers have been school resource officers, train the teachers to have guns themselves. We're going to now arm nuns and priests, arm little kids. What you realize we've tried everything except the one thing that we've been asking for and demanding for.
Yep.
This is an individual, the shooter, by the way, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about the shooter because their personal history is not relevant, except for the fact that they had been for years posting violent content online and sharing violent thoughts.
Yes.
And in this last year especially, it got ramped up to a very dangerous level, and we have an FBI director who's clearly only qualified to write his goddamn children books and not qualified to run the FBI, and a director of Homeland Security who's more interested in makeup and hair than actually running Homeland Security. This is the consequence.
Yeah.
This was missed. This
Yeah.
was absolutely missed.
Yeah.
So cut all these departments all you want. Put all your money into rounding up illegal immigrants or even legal immigrants who are trying to work through the system. Round them all up as the cause of your problems. Meanwhile, we're going to see more school shootings like this.
Yeah.
You shared a clip with me. What was that clip?
It was actually a Fox News clip where they were talking about this.
Look at you watching Fox News.
I told you I'll watch it. I need to know what they think.
How can we stop it? And the only way to stop it is to identify the shooter ahead of time or keep the weapons out of their hands. And so we're going to have a conversation of freedom versus protecting children. I mean, how many school shootings does it take before we're going to have a conversation about keeping firearms out? It's always a young white male, almost always.
So I want us to watch.
Now, who was that, by the way?
He's a Fox News commentator.
He's a South Carolinian.
Is he?
Former South Carolina Congressman Trey Gowdy.
Is that That's what that was?
That's who that was. That was a clip that came from Veronica de la Cruz. And then she said in her comments that was Trey Gowdy, who's a commentator on Fox News.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
But you were saying?
Well, I just thought, let's just watch and see how long Trey remains employed.
Yeah, true. So truly, it is a heartbreaking point. And then the mayor says, listen, he wasn't saying don't pray.
Yeah, but he makes a very valid statement. We quick to say we send in our thoughts and our prayers, and we build these makeshift monuments, and then it goes quiet. But the suffering is lifelong.
Yes.
And instead of fixing the problem, we fix everything but that.
This next clip comes from California Governor Gavin Newsom, who thinks that Trump wants another election. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I don't think Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
And you think he's going to run again?
Who spends $200 million on a ballroom at their home and then leaves the house? So this is serious, guys. This is serious.
So it'll be Newsom Trump in 28.
No, this guy doesn't believe in free, fair elections. He tried to wreck this country. Were you there, January 6th? I think Fox was. At least they were in a lawsuit. They seem to have lost any memory of that. Shareholders didn't. I mean, he tried to light democracy on fire. He dialed for 11, almost 12,000 votes. Now he's doing it in plain sight. And people say, oh, just Trump being Trump. People actually think this guy's serious about having another election? You think he's joking about 2028? You think when he brings foreign leaders to the Oval Office and he goes to the White House store, have you seen this? Anyone? Is it just me? And he shows them the 2028 hats? He's not being serious? Wake up. You will lose your country.
Yeah, I thought that was powerful.
Yeah, indeed. You see, this was an interview with Politico, but you saw in the beginning the host tried to make light of it. And then the audience themselves were laughing. Not once did Governor Newsom crack a smile. He brought it serious.
Yeah.
He quieted that crowd and brought the gravity of our current situation to bear.
Yeah.
Now, I understand Governor Newsom himself comes with some baggage. Mm-hmm. He's not universally beloved. So we'll take it at that. I'm not saying he is the presumptive nominee for the 2028 election. But those words right there, I don't care whose mouth that came out of.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. But regardless of who's saying it, what he is saying is the alarm is sounding.
It's true. And this last news clip comes from Boston. And as you know, the National Guard has been deployed to cities throughout the country with threats of even more cities. The mayor of Boston, her name is Michelle Wu, received a letter from U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, and she went and did a press conference in public with the city's response. Let's watch.
We're here again today because last week Boston received a letter from the Attorney General of the United States on official letterhead from the federal government threatening to prosecute city officials and withhold federal funds unless we cooperate with carrying out mass deportations. At a time when this federal administration is already causing so much fear and harm in our communities, these threats are serious and consequential. But our same communities have told me, loud and clear, that silence in the face of oppression is not an option. The U.S. Attorney General asked for a response by today. So here it is.
Hold on, I want to pause right there. I remember a statement you made early on in our podcast. There's power in the pause.
There it is.
This is a woman that utilizes those paws.
There
She
it is.
wields it like a sword. It's incredible.
Yeah.
She's mastered it. I love this mayor.
Here is our response. Stop attacking our cities to hide your administration's failures. Unlike the Trump administration, Boston follows the law. And Boston will not back down from who we are and what we stand for. We will not back away from our community that has made us the safest major city in the country and a leading example of why cities around the country make this country safer, healthier, and more prosperous for all Americans. To all the federal officials attacking communities that embody diversity, creativity, and moral clarity, we mayors said this in D.C. nearly 6 months ago, and I'll say it again today. You are wrong on the law, and you are wrong on safety. Most of all, you are wrong on cities. The cities that live in your minds are totally foreign to the residents living in our cities. And we are picking up the pieces of your failures to deliver on your promises. Under the Trump administration, groceries are less affordable. Housing is harder to build. Cures for cancer are farther away. And good news on our economy has been as hard to find as the Epstein list.
Come on.
Bringing the heat.
Nah. I love it. You know, she has been one of the ones that have been a rock star. She is not backing down, and I love it.
I love it too.
Goodness.